So altcoins are currently undergoing a little bit of a correction. In this video, I discuss with technical analysis exactly where we are in the market and what we could expect going forward. So before I start, just a reminder, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody knows for sure what's going on. And personally, I prefer to stick to technical analysis more so than anything else. I don't really trade the news because all the news does, in my opinion, especially with crypto, is it just adds volatility. No news event can predict whether something will go up or down. Sometimes you get the opposite effect. So let's have a look at a few of these altcoins. Good thing about looking at a good few of them is you kind of get a better idea of the market, the different niches as well, but the overall market. So on a daily chart, if you look at TAO USD, you can see we've double topped here. Now we don't know what's going to happen after. Now, if you get follow through to the downside, this is a clear double top with a neckline much lower at the 220 level. So this would suggest a longer sideways correction. So let me drop onto an hour time frame just to show you what I mean. So basically how that would work, if this is what's going on, I mean, like I said, nobody knows for certain, but we've got a double top there. So we might be doing a flat correction. Flat correction is basically sideways correction. So 3, 3, and then either a 3 or a 5 all the way down here. So we might stop just above, might stop just below, but it's an ongoing kind of correction. That might be what's going on. Now, the reason, again, like I said, I'm looking at different altcoins is if we see a similar pattern setting up, a corrective pattern, that will give us an idea in terms of what's going on. Is this all done completely? And are we just going to go all the way back to the lows? Or are we going to pull back 20, 30%? That's what we're trying to determine. So this is the first clue from TAO. Let's go to Solana, which had been doing very well. Now, again, I'm on an hourly chart here. Now, basic technical analysis. Let's say if you're completely brand new to this, what you're seeing as you're going up, you're seeing higher highs and higher lows as we're going up. Higher highs, higher lows. Higher high, and then a higher low, but then we had a lower high and a lower low. And that's a break of structure potentially. And we've got a bit of a kind of neckline here, an ascending neckline here formed. Not quite a head and shoulders pattern, but definitely a neckline there that was broken. And now we're kind of correcting sideways. And it's another lower high. And almost at this, sometimes you get patterns within patterns. So even on a very, very low time frame, you can see things going on. Like, for example, here, it's almost a triple top. 1, 2, 3. The price just got rejected from the 59.60 level. Now, again, nobody's got a crystal ball, but probability-wise, you've been rejected that many times. It's going to be difficult right now for Solana to break through that level. And if you do get a strong pullback, then expect price to push down significantly. So this whole thing could just be part of an ongoing correction, either from the 11th of November or from the high we saw on the 16th, sideways correction. So kind of fitting in with some of the other altcoins. Let's say we do break below 51 and this is an ongoing correction. Because remember, we could just suddenly turn up from here as well. The correction could have been over here. So this potentially is a three-wave move. And we could be starting something here, and this could be an ascending triangle. Like we don't know for sure, but we will know very soon, because if you understand technical analysis and you're watching these patterns and you're watching how the candlesticks form here, you can actually see, for example, what price will do. So based on price action, you'll probably know within the next few hours, if we break through here, that's very, very bullish because we're kind of ascending towards here. But if we're struggling and we actually break down, then we're heading towards these 51 lows. And if we break through there, you can see that was an important support level of recent, then we'd be good. Then we'd be rushing down to the next kind of level of support. It's interesting what happened with some of the kind of metaverse related coins. So Sand, Mana as well, even ApeCoin as well got a bit of a rally in the last kind of 24 hours. And again, even though that rally's happened, we don't know now, like I said before, with the pullback where we're going to go. But if we turn from here, that is another lower high, even on Sand, which didn't really move that much, to be fair. Sometimes the other thing as well is you have to watch out for traps. So let me show you on a daily chart. It's probably clearer on a daily chart. No, actually, let's go to a 4-hourly. So you can draw a downward sloping line here, and you can see breakout. This was something I was waiting for with Sand, and it's broken out, but sometimes this could be a fake out. So what I mean by that is, sometimes a small number of kind of wallets can manipulate price a little bit, or some of the market makers can manipulate price. So we get this little breakout. A lot of people jump in thinking, well, this is the bull market resuming. and then everybody gets trapped, and then price gets dragged much lower with all of these longs trapped here just above this trend line. So you have to watch out for that. So I always watch to see what happens immediately after. Yes, we had a bit of a pump. What happens now? Are we going to let it pull back and then keep going and attacking these highs, or are we just going to completely collapse from here? Remember, we're going into Sunday and Monday, and obviously it's a holiday weekend as well. A great time actually for markets to dump potentially. When markets tend to be quiet holiday times, that's when things start to happen, especially with cryptocurrency. Same thing we saw at the beginning of the year. Nobody was watching, and it was a couple of days before New Year's. That's suddenly when things started to kick off in the first week of January, when everybody was still waking up. Already crypto, a lot of the altcoins were up 50, 60, 70%. So let's have a look at a few more. AVAX, which was doing really well, and one I really like, similar story. So downwards trend line, little bit of a breakout, or is it fake out? Lots and lots of lower highs. Are we going to see a break in structure? Where is the break in structure, by the way? So it depends on where, what does it mean also? So basically, when you have one particular trend, you have a structure to that trend. So higher highs, higher lows, as I've explained. But then when an important level breaks, that breaks the structure, and that suggests that there's been a sudden change in trend. Now, it depends what time frame you're looking at. But here on a higher time frame, like 4 hourly or daily, the big kind of significant higher low was this one here, printed on 14th November. So that's around 1560. If we stay above that level, then we're still technically speaking bullish, because it's that low that caused this most recent high. So that's the most important level out of all this. These are the blue lines, by the way, if you're just wondering what I've added here. These are just areas of insufficiency where price tends to sometimes go back and explore. So I always kind of keep an eye out for these and mark these as well. So basically, that's what we're looking for. If we stay above there and we mess around in correction, for a while, for weeks and weeks, and then we do that thing crypto does where, like I said, it's a couple of days after Christmas where suddenly we start pumping when nobody's watching, then that's fine, as long as we're sideways and we're above that level. But if we start coming down really impulsively and we break that level, then you start to worry about this whole move from October. The whole move's potentially at risk of reversing completely and us re-exploring nearer to the lows. So obviously you have to keep an eye on that. Now, if you go to an hourly time frame, you'll see that here, so in terms of the most recent move, let me just move some of these lines. So in terms of the most recent move up, it's this level here that was broken, the 2024. You see, that's where we found support. Very, very typical. Look how many times we hit it. Once there, found support, moved up correctively, which was never going to be sustained, found that support again, and now we broke through. And now we're messing about around that support level, not looking too clever, to be honest. But if we fall through again, this will become quite strong resistance, and we'll be going to the next kind of line of support. But basically, on a lower time frame, that's what I'm showing you here, is we have broken structure. So in this lower time frame, we have actually changed trend. Temporarily, we're in a short term, very short term, in terms of swing 1 to 3 days. We're actually in a downtrend, not an uptrend. But in the larger picture of weeks, we are in an uptrend. Just quickly on XRP, same thing. We kind of broke above this kind of downward sloping line, and we're doing also nothing. But you don't know if the correction is over at this point. Kind of moved up almost impulsively, so you can't say for sure. But again, it could just be people getting trapped here before a big move down. Usually when prices dilly-dallying like this sideways in crypto, again, this is just my experience that I'm sharing, and it's not going anywhere, usually it just tends to kind of crumble down. So with some coins, like maybe XRP as well, sometimes what happens is it dilly-dally sideways and then just kind of creeps down and just thinks, okay, I've reached the edge of the cliff now. Let me see what's over the edge of the cliff. It does that. A lot of cryptocurrencies tend to do that. That's why sometimes I wouldn't say it's obvious, but it kind of, when you see the same pattern again and again, you kind of can work out what's going on sometimes. Like I personally think there's a good chance right now we're going to get a bit more of a pullback across the board, and it might be a bit deeper and sharper and kind of freak people out. Good chance that could happen in the next 24 to 40 hours. I mean, I'd be very happy if it doesn't, because it means we'll just consolidate and then we'll be starting the next move up. But this is a key time, because if we do consolidate and move up, then you have to assume that the next move is literally we're re-exploring all of the highs. And it's very easy trading there. Go through all the altcoins and see which ones are furthest away from the highs, and that should already be a 30-40%. And then obviously we're going to very likely break through that and move on from there. So you can literally just hold the trade. But I'll do obviously regular updates on this. Finally, just a couple of the AI coins. We've got GRT here, same scenario. So as we discussed earlier, this is why looking at a few different ones really helps. So let me just remove the drawing so you can see here clearly. So I'm on hourly here, but you can see double top. Doesn't need to be perfect, like the exact to the cent or anything like that, but basically we double top. But in terms of structure, what that basically means is we came down correctively. More than likely we went up correctively because this is just all overlapping price action, and now we need to complete this structure. So it can either stop here, stop right at these lows here, or a little bit below. It's all Fibonacci levels actually. But I'd be happy if that's what's going on, because once that's done, whenever it decides to finish, you'll be looking for downward sloping trend line, wedge pattern, and breakout with volume. Breakout with volume, and then we're off and running again. And I don't really care because I'm on the sidelines now. As I saw this all happening, I don't really care when this happens. I'll just wait patiently. This could all happen within a few days, or it could take a few weeks. That is indeed what's going on. Remember, it's not guaranteed. It's possible, I think less likely, but it's possible. The low was in here, and we're now starting the next leg up. And these are just a series of what we call nesting, for example, in Elliott Lay, 1, 2, 1, 2s. But if that's the case, then literally tomorrow or the day after, we should go up like 50% or something ridiculous. That's the only way this structure would actually make any sense. So I think that's much less likely, but still not obviously impossible. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.